Hello friends, I am Guna Mathivanan, Current Affairs faculty at Offices IAS Academy. As you know, I have started a Current Affairs video series. So in that series, we have discussed 3 topics so far. So today we will be discussing the 4th topic, that is PLFS, Periodic Labour Force Survey. So Periodic Labour Force Survey, right? We all know the NSSO, which comes under Ministry of Statistics, National Sample Survey Organization, which is responsible in conducting various socio-economic surveys. So they used to collect data regarding employment. They used to release data relating to, they collect and they also release data related to employment, rural employment, urban employment, employment among male, female, right, etc. Everything they will be collecting and they will be releasing. They used to release that once in 5 years. Quinquennially, they should release once in 5 years. However, from 2017, they started adapting a practice called as periodic labor force survey. So they started releasing the employment data on a quarterly basis and annual basis. Earlier, they were releasing once in 5 years, but now they started releasing from 2017. They adopted to a practice of releasing on a quarterly as well as annual basis under the heading called as periodic labor force survey. Though it was NSSO which was releasing all these data, and we all know NSSO and CSO, Central Statistics Office, they both got merged into one single organization called as NSO, right? So now it is going to be National Statistical Office, NSO. So previously we had NSSO, CSO, now everything is merged under a single office called as NSO. So this National Statistical Office will be releasing this PLFS. Okay, as I said, this PLFS data will be available for employment details in rural areas, urban areas, among the male, female, everything we will be getting through this survey, right? So PLFS is the first computer based survey in our country, right? So it gives you an idea about distribution of the educated and unemployed people on a quarterly and annual basis. So they give the data under different headings called as labor force participation rate, worker population ratio, unemployment rate, activity status, usual status, weekly status, daily status. Okay, so we should be very clear about these definitions. Right, what is labor force participation rate, what is worker population rate, what is unemployment rate, right? So we will try to understand those definitions. Okay, labor force participation rate. Okay, labor force participation rate. Let's assume that a country has a population. A country has a population of 1000. Assume. Number of people who are working is 250. Number of people who are seeking work, they are looking for work, they are searching for work, they are seeking work, 250. In this 1000, 250 is working, 250 is searching work. Now what is labor force? Now what is labor force? When I say labor force, that includes people who are working and people who are seeking work. Now 250 people are working and 250 people are seeking work. So labor force is going to be 500 in this example. Now what is labor force participation rate? So labor force as a percentage of population. Labor force as a percentage of population. What is the labor force as a percentage in population? That is going to be, so in this 1000, 500 is 50%. So labor force participation rate is 50%. So what is LFPR? LFPR is defined as the percentage of persons in the labor force, right, in the population. So in the population, what is the percentage of person in the labor force in the population? This is labor force participation rate. Now what is worker population ratio? What is worker population ratio? Worker population ratio. So here we know the number of people who are working is 250. The number of people who are working is 250. Now what is the percentage of working population in total population? what is the percentage of working population in total population. So, in this example it is going to be 25%. So, worker population ratio in this example it is going to be 25%. It is defined as the percentage of employed person in the population. So, in the population we know out of 1000 people only 250 are working. So, it is going to be 25%. Now, what is unemployment rate? So, unemployment rate. So, here percentage of unemployed in the labor force. Percentage of unemployed in the labor force. We know labor force is 500. Now, how many are unemployed? It is 250 because they are seeking work. They don't have job. They are searching, right? So, percentage of unemployed in this labor force. So, 250 as a percentage of 500, that is going to be 50%. So, in this example unemployed is 50%. So, what is unemployment rate? It is defined as the percentage of persons unemployed among the persons in the labor force. In labor force we saw 500. Unemployed we saw 250, right? So, it is going to be 50% in our example. Now, activity status. This activity status means what kind of work people were doing, for how many days they were working, whether they were working for 365 days or they are working for only 180 days, whether they are working every week, whether they are working every month, right. So, that activity status is reported under two heading. One is usual status and weekly status. Usual status means in last 365 days, okay, their activity will be collected, the information will be collected. That means, let us say I was working for 365 days or for last 1 year. In last 365 days I was working in a company for 250 days. Now, I was doing two different jobs. There was one primary job, there was one secondary job. Now, I was going for work for 2 months, then I was unemployed for 1 month, then I got a job for 3 months. So, that activity, that status will be collected. For last 1 year, what was your status? Last 1 week, what was your status? So, usual status means that talks about 365 days. Then current weekly status means that talks about the last 7 days, okay, preceding the date of survey. Last 7 days what you are doing, that status. All these information will be reported. So, in June 2020, the 2018-19 data was released. 18-19 data was released only in June 2020. So, the report says India's unemployment rate, it fell from 6.1% to 5.8%, very good. The dip was seen in all the categories among women, among rural workers. Unemployment in women reduced, unemployment in men reduced, unemployment in rural areas reduced, unemployment in urban areas reduced. But when you see the unemployment in women, the unemployment among women, it got reduced to a large extent when compared to male unemployment. Similarly, the urban unemployment was high when compared to the rural unemployment. Labor force participation rate, it marginally improved. Female participation rate, that improved in both urban and rural area, right. The worker population rate, that was increased from 35.3% to 36.9%, everything being compared with 2017-18, okay. These are the important highlights of this report. Now, what is the biggest challenge, friends, given the COVID pandemic, lockdown, large amount of job loss, the unemployment status would have been increased. So, sustaining this falling trend, particularly in 2020, is going to be very difficult, but somehow we have to ensure that the progress which we are achieving in the decline in the unemployment rate has to be sustained, right. I hope the video was useful. I have also given you a question. So, find the correct answer and give in the comment section. If you like this initiative, you can share your feedback in the comment section. We will meet you in another video, in another topic. Thank you.